In the quiet suburbs of Maplewood, where picket fences lined the streets and families shared barbecues on lazy Sundays, lived a man named Tom Harlan. Tom was the kind of father who wore his heart on his sleeve, always the first to cheer at his daughter's soccer games, the one who packed her lunches with little notes of encouragement. But lately, something had changed. His 16-year-old daughter, Emily, had become a shadow of her former self. She locked herself in her room for hours, her laughter replaced by silence, her bright eyes dimmed by unspoken pain. One night, as Tom sat alone in the living room, staring at the family photos on the wall, he made a decision that would shatter his world. He installed a hidden camera in her room, telling himself it was to protect her. Little did he know, what he was about to discover would destroy him from the inside out. The next morning, Tom woke up with a knot in his stomach. He sipped his coffee, pretending everything was normal as Emily grabbed her backpack and headed to school with a forced smile. As soon as she left, he rushed to his computer, his hands trembling as he logged into the camera feed. At first, it was nothing, just Emily's empty room, posters of her favorite bands on the walls, her unmade bed. But then, the door creaked open. Emily wasn't at school like she said. She slipped back in through the window, her face pale and tear-streaked. Tom's heart raced. What was she hiding? She collapsed onto the bed, pulling out her phone, and that's when the first whispers of horror began. She was typing furiously, her fingers flying across the screen. Tom zoomed in, his breath catching. The messages were from someone named Shadowhunter, a stranger online, manipulating her with words that made Tom's blood run cold. "You're worthless without me," one read. "Do it tonight." Do what? Tom's world tilted, and just as he leaned closer, the feed glitched. Emily looked up, straight at the camera, her eyes widening in realization. Had she seen it? Tom's mind reeled as he replayed the footage over and over that afternoon. Emily had always been his little girl, the one who climbed trees and dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. How had it come to this? He remembered the day her mother left them 5 years ago, packing her bags after a heated argument, leaving Tom to raise Emily alone. He'd tried his best, working double shifts as a mechanic to keep the roof over their heads, attending PTA meetings, even learning to braid her hair from YouTube tutorials. But the divorce had left scars. Emily had withdrawn, spending more time online than with friends. Tom blamed himself. Maybe if he'd been more present, she wouldn't have sought solace in the digital void. That evening, as Emily came home from school, Tom confronted her gently over dinner. "Honey, is everything okay? You seem distant." She shrugged, poking at her pasta. "I'm fine, Dad. Just tired." But her voice cracked, and Tom saw the lie in her eyes. He decided to wait, to watch more. That night, the camera captured Emily sneaking out again, meeting a shadowy figure in the backyard. Who was it? Tom's pulse pounded. Was this Shadowhunter in the flesh? As days turned into a blur, Tom's obsession grew. He barely slept, his eyes glued to the screen during work breaks. The footage revealed fragments of Emily's secret life, late-night chats filled with despair, drawings in her journal of dark, swirling storms, and pills, oh God, pills hidden under her mattress. Antidepressants? Something worse? Tom researched online, his fingers flying across the keyboard, learning about cyberbullying, online predators, and teen suicide rates that made his stomach churn. He recalled Emily's 10th birthday, when she'd blown out the candles wishing for a pony. Now, her wishes seemed darker. One afternoon, while Tom was at the garage fixing a transmission, his phone buzzed with a notification from the camera app. Emily was home early, sobbing uncontrollably. She held a razor blade, tracing lines on her wrist, whispering, "No one would miss me." Tom's tools clattered to the floor. He raced home, bursting through the door just in time to find her curled up, the blade discarded. "Emily," he cried, pulling her into his arms. She pushed him away at first, tears streaming. "You don't understand, Dad. Everyone hates me. That guy online, he says I'm nothing." Tom's heart broke into a million pieces. But as he held her, she confessed more. The bullying at school, the fake friends who spread rumors, the online harassment that started innocently but turned vicious. How could he have missed this? The confrontation that followed was raw and unfiltered. Tom admitted to the camera, his voice breaking as he explained his fear-driven choice. Emily's face twisted in betrayal. "You spied on me? How could you?" She stormed out, slamming the door, leaving Tom alone with his guilt. That night, he sat in the dark, replaying every mistake. The divorce had hit Emily harder than he'd realized. She'd internalized the blame, thinking she wasn't enough to keep her family together. Tom vowed to fix it. He reached out to a therapist the next day, booking sessions for both of them. But challenges mounted. Emily resisted at first, skipping appointments, her anger a wall between them. School called about her truancy, and Tom faced judgment from neighbors who whispered about that troubled girl. Work suffered. His boss warned him about slipping performance. Yet, Tom persisted, sharing his own vulnerabilities. "I lost your mom because I didn't communicate," he told Emily one evening over ice cream. "I won't lose you too." Slowly, cracks appeared in her armor. She opened up about the online predator, how he'd groomed her with compliments before tearing her down. Weeks passed, marked by small victories and setbacks. Emily deleted her social media accounts, a tearful but liberating act. Tom joined a support group for single parents, learning tools to rebuild trust. One cliffhanger came during a family therapy session when Emily revealed a suicide note she'd written but never sent. "I almost did it last month," she whispered, and Tom's world froze again. What if he'd been too late? The therapist guided them through the pain, teaching coping mechanisms like journaling and mindfulness. Emily started volunteering at an animal shelter, her dream of veterinary work reigniting. Tom cut back hours at work, prioritizing game nights and hikes. But another storm brewed when Shadowhunter resurfaced, hacking into Emily's old email with threats. Tom's protective instincts surged. He contacted authorities, providing the camera footage as evidence. The investigation dragged on, filled with tense waits and legal jargon. Would justice prevail, or would the predator slip away? As the case unfolded, Tom and Emily grew closer. They attended a cyber safety workshop together, where Emily shared her story anonymously, inspiring other teens. Tom marveled at her resilience. The girl who'd hidden in shadows now stood in the light. Challenges persisted. Emily faced backlash from peers who learned of the bullying, but she found true friends in a support circle. Tom grappled with his own depression, seeking therapy solo. One evening, as they watched the sunset from their porch, Emily turned to him. "Dad, I'm sorry for scaring you." He hugged her tight. "I'm sorry for not seeing sooner. We're in this together." The resolution came when authorities arrested Shadowhunter, a 28-year-old man preying on vulnerable kids. The trial was grueling, but Emily testified bravely, her voice steady. Tom watched, pride swelling despite the tears. Months later, life in Maplewood felt renewed. Emily excelled in school, her grades soaring, her laughter echoing through the house again. Tom started a blog about parental vigilance in the digital age, turning their ordeal into a beacon for others. They adopted a rescue dog, naming him Hope, symbolizing their fresh start. The camera? Tom dismantled it, vowing never to invade privacy again, instead, fostering open dialogue. Their bond, forged in fire, became unbreakable. Emily pursued her veterinary passion, interning at the shelter, while Tom found joy in simple moments, like teaching her to drive. Yet, the journey wasn't without lingering shadows. Emily had panic attacks on bad days, but Tom was there, reminding her of her strength. He faced his fears too, dating again after years alone, encouraged by Emily's teasing. "You deserve happiness, Dad." Their story spread locally, with Emily speaking at schools about online dangers, empowering others. Tom reflected on that fateful decision. The camera that destroyed him also saved them, a paradoxical twist. In the end, as father and daughter stood together at her high school graduation, Tom whispered, "You've come so far." Emily smiled, "We both have." Their tale wasn't just survival, it was rebirth. It taught that in the darkest moments, love and communication can illuminate the path forward. No family is perfect, but with empathy and effort, healing is possible. Remember, if you're struggling, reach out, help is there. If this story touched you, hit that like button and subscribe for more heartfelt tales that inspire hope and connection. Thanks for watching.